Hey, it's Karen. Okay, so today we're going to make the old-fashioned shortbread cookies like your grandma used to make, depending on your age. Like 6 ingredients is all we're going to need, and it's super, super easy. And they're great for holidays, which it's actually Christmas Eve, so my family's looking forward to these. So we've got butter here. So a normal one of these big cubes of butter is a pound, okay? So you cut it in half because we're going to use 1 cup of butter. And the butter needs to be melted down, so I'm going to put it in the microwave so it melts down because you can't have any lumps in the butter when we do this, okay? And then I'll go over the rest of the ingredients. I'm just going to put this in and melt it. Okay. So then what else we need is powdered sugar, just old-fashioned powdered sugar, any kind, you know, just the plain stuff. Cornstarch. Now, if you don't have cornstarch, you can actually make these without it, but they'll be more sticky and you'll have to use more flour. I don't have to use any extra flour once I cut them out, or I'll make them crisscross. I'll show you that later. But if you don't have any cornstarch, that's okay. You don't have to have it. So you need a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, which is in here. Then for flour, I just have the old-fashioned white flour. It's 1.5 cups. And then I have a cup of the powdered sugar measured out, but just know that really I'm not going to use all of this because I sprinkle half of it with powdered sugar at the end and half without. So you'd save a little bit of the powdered sugar. Vanilla extract, which I actually also have the Madagascar, the real stuff, but I'm just going to use this vanilla extract today. And then I like a little bit of sea salt. I love sea salt and everything. But again, if you don't want to use the sea salt, if you're watching salt intake, you don't have to. And you don't have to have the cornstarch. I mean, this recipe is super easy. So it would be 4 ingredients without the cornstarch and the salt. And it's going to be 6 with it if you want them to taste like your grandma probably would have made in the old days. Okay, so I'm just going to get out the beater here because I'm going to beat everything together. Now, it also says you have to sift together the cornstarch and the flour. You know that I'm not the traditional baker. If you watch my stuff, you don't have to sift anything. Like, I don't know why everything says you have to sift it. I mean, I've been baking forever, and I never sift nothing. So it's just time consuming, and you know we don't want time consuming. We want to get this stuff done. Now this recipe, you're going to need to chill it after. Sorry. My butter's melting anyway. Okay, so we're ready to go. Butter's probably melted good enough. Okay, so I'm just going to beat up the butter a bit. Oh yeah, it's good. Okay, I'm just going to get all the lumps out of the butter. It's not going to take very long to do that. A couple seconds. Like, this recipe can be done like that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump in the vanilla. And you know I don't really measure, but it's about 2 teaspoons if you want to know. I just love vanilla. My sea salt, again, don't really measure. But I just give it a couple turns like that, about 3, which is probably just about 1/8 of a teaspoon if you're really measuring. I'm going to start mixing that up. I'm going to throw in the sugar next. Now remember, I'm going to save a little bit of the sugar, just a little to sprinkle. Okay, so about that much is left. If you can see, just a little tiny bit left. I may put this in, okay? I'm going to show you the consistency. It's good. You see that in there? I'll scrape down the sides a little bit. Okay, so you can see the consistency on this is great. This bowl's a little hot. Ouch. Okay, scrape it down for 1 second. And then, yeah, consistency's perfect. I'm going to add in my flour and my cornstarch. I'm going to go a little bit of flour, and then I'm going to add some cornstarch. I'm going to dump the rest of the cornstarch in the flour. I'm going to just keep mixing it up. A little bit more. And that's it. That is how you make shortbread. So once I finish beating this up, which will just take another, 30 seconds, not long. You can see I've got it probably on a medium. I'm going to scrape it down one time, and then I'm going to chill it in the refrigerator for probably about an hour. Now, if you're busy and you're doing other things, it doesn't matter. You can leave it in there 2 or 3 hours. You could even freeze this dough and make it tomorrow, or up to 2 weeks probably. I would say, I don't know what your freezer's like, but you don't want to get freezer burn. Okay, we're done. As far as this goes, I'm going to just speed it up so it clears off my beaters, which it did. You can see what the consistency looks like that. I'm going to get out a piece of wax paper. Now, parchment paper, you can use parchment paper, wax paper, saran wrap. It doesn't really matter. Like this. I'm going to take my buttered spoon that I had. Just move it around a bit here. And it's going to come out. And can you see this good? I mean, it's just absolutely perfect dough. Just perfect. And you saw, like, I had measured stuff out before I started the video, but start to finish, like, nothing. Took 2 seconds. I'm just going to wrap this up like this. Fold it over. Kind of just do a little bit, get it a little bit of the smoothness. When I take this out after chilling, I don't even flour it again. I don't even flour it again at all. Okay, so it's like this. It's going in the fridge. I'll see you back. I'm going to make 2 different shapes and sizes. One of them is the old-fashioned one, which they just used a little fork and did like a crisscross design like this. That's what, depending on your age, if you're my age, then that's what you'll definitely remember your grandma used to do. And then the other one I'm going to do is I just take a little bit of this dough and I just press it down on the wax paper, and I've got like a heart like this, and I just put it in there, move the other dough apart, and look, it's this cute little heart. Isn't that adorable? The oven is preheating right now to 350, and you're going to bake them like 10 to 12 minutes. As you go along, it'll probably be closer depending on how your oven heats up. It'll probably be closer to the 10 minutes. You don't want to burn these at all, okay? Like, definitely do not want to burn them. So, there's my shapes. I'm going to put the first ones in, and then I'll show you. We're going to sprinkle half with powdered sugar and half without when we finish them. So, just the crisscross. That's it. It's super easy. I swear, you will thank me. Okay? I'll see you back when we're finished baking. Hi, welcome back. Okay, so I said 10 to 12 minutes. That was the butter tarts I made yesterday. See, I made butter tarts yesterday. They're delicious. I didn't do one. But anyway, back to the shortbread cookies. Actually, 15 to 20 minutes is what the recipe calls for, but I just baked this first batch, and it's about 16 minutes, and it'll probably go down a little bit. What you want to make sure is that it doesn't end up burning, so it's just lightly browned around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these onto a plate. And remember how I told you I never ever sift the sugar or any of that stuff? This is the only time when I'm doing cookies that I'll use an actual sifter. So I'm just going to lift one of these cookies off. You see it's lightly browned on the bottom. It's just perfect. I take this, remember the little powdered sugar? I will just sprinkle this on like that. That's all I do. See that little bit? Can you see it from this camera? Little bit. And look at these little heart ones. They just spread out a tiny little bit. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So that's the Christmas baking. Now, these are still slightly warm. Oh my gosh, it smells so delicious. But I'm hoping you enjoy these, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Look back for more videos. Thanks, take care, bye-bye. Oh, they're so good. Just delicious. Merry Christmas.